Hello and welcome to Musical Lyrical Lingo. We're your hosts, Tim
and LJ. Today and every week we will be discussing musicals and specifically what they taught us.
Absolutely. Welcome back.
That's your favourite word? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, like last season you made fun of me for overusing Sublime. Wasn't it Sublime?
Sublime.
And I haven't used it once this year. Like
absolutely. But that was really weird, like after our introduction. Absolutely. It was just
why did I even say absolutely? You must have said something for me to go absolutely.
I literally said the intro.
I didn't just then say absolutely.
You
for no
did.
Reason.
You did. That's why I was like, absolutely. Anyway, hello. Welcome to our podcast. We're Tim and LJ, two best friends who love each other and love musicals.
We're the three best friends that anyone could have. Three best friends. Hopefully we won't get cut off short this week.
I know that was my fault. I'm so sorry.
Apologies to our listeners. I was about to say something really poignant and very important.
Were you?
Yes. Always. Okay, right. Let's hold the phone a minute. It's all getting too much for me now with we now have sound effects. What's going to be... Here we go. Go on. What's going to be next week?
Oh, I don't know. It depends what comes out of your mouth.
Nothing but factual information and...
So nothing but factual information comes out of your mouth. Can I refer back to Rocky Horror Picture Show episode?
Why are you bringing that up again?
Because you just said nothing.
That's unfair of you. And any new listeners to the podcast this season won't have a clue what you're talking about.
Well, now they need to go and listen to that episode.
Really, honestly. Friends like you, who needs enemies? Why'd you just take my pen? I like playing with my pen. I need it for concentration. I aren't just taking my pen off me because I was playing around with it and it's probably coming across in the sound. I need my pen, okay? It's like my wee fidgety thing.
I like playing with my pen. That's, yeah.
Another... Do you not like have a wee thing that keeps you focused and on track?
Yeah, no, I do. And usually I do play with the lid of a pen.
There you go, you see. Also, the setup this week's very weird. You're looking at me like we're having a romantic dinner.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Well, I wanted to sit like facing you and you were like, oh no, I can't.
Absolutely not. I'm not here to be interviewed.
Well, my problem is now with these fancy mics and our setup is that I like to be able to look at you and what you're saying.
You're not the only one, love. You're not the only one.
But the problem was I keep like moving my head away from the mic and then nobody can hear me, and it's really important that people hear me because...
Yeah, but you just need to work on your mic technique then, don't you? Because I've already been told mine's perfect. It's not right, Aaron?
Yep.
See? Anyway, how are we doing?
We're doing good. I've missed you.
That was me that hit that button. Right, enough
Okay.
of the cheap, tacky sound effects.
Okay.
They don't add to your podcast, folks. Why are you laughing? It's true.
I don't know. It's just your facial expressions sometimes crack me up.
That's why you had to be facing me, didn't
That's why I have to face you. Yep.
you? Yeah.
You
All
know?
good?
Yes, all good. All good.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
I am so excited. So excited. I love this musical that we're talking about.
Yeah,
today.
I know, so do I.
And I think that's why I'm kind of like, come on, let's get into it.
Yeah, you're very excited tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Okay. Is it just because we've had St. Paddy's Day, or...?
Oh yeah, and like the Skulls Cup was just on a few hours ago.
I didn't even watch it. I forgot it was on.
Our disgrace.
Lauren has absolutely no affiliation with any of the teams that were playing in the Schools Cup, nor has she ever, but is obsessed and has to watch it every year.
Yep.
For anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, in Northern Ireland, there's like a Schools Cup where
it's rugby.
all the schools rugby teams like compete against each other, and the final is always held on St. Patrick's Day. Lauren didn't go to a school that was involved ever in the Schools Cup, so why she ever had any interest, I've no idea.
Hold on, can I just say, what football team do you currently like go and watch and support?
I've been to see them once, but Ipswich Town.
Oh.
I am proud of it.
Okay, and what?
You are me.
But what is your affiliation to that? So I'm just going to throw that back in your face.
They've got a stand, so they're called the Blues. So they have a stand, which is now called Bluebell Stand.
Can I hear your Blue Army one more time, please?
Blue Army. It's good, isn't it? Ah, okay, I'll allow that.
Never in a million years did I think you would actually throw that back in my face and be able to say stuff about football there.
Yeah. Don't
go you. I'm actually
know
a
who
wee
you're
bit
playing
impressed.
with here.
I'm
Be
a wee bit
very,
impressed.
very careful. Anyway, what musical are we talking about this week?
We are talking about Jesus Christ.
Superstar.
Thank you for coming in there.
It's okay. It's getting a bit high, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't think I would be able to carry that
you
out.
started just a wee bit high.
Aw, what a musical.
It's fabulous, isn't it?
Definitely top 5. Like, if not number 1 or number
cool.
2 or number 3 or number 4, it's definitely number 5.
Okay, you're just weird. Like, honestly, Lauren. Definitely top 5. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but definitely 5.
You always said if it's not.
If
You know,
it's not,
sometimes it depends on your mood.
But just say top 5.
I know.
Anywhere within that range.
Okay, so this musical is in my top 5. This one makes
How come?
me feel happy and I enjoy the music. I don't know, actually, isn't it weird? Because there's death in this one too.
Yeah, listen, I woke up the other day to a message from one of the listeners going, "What is wrong with Lauren?" after they'd listened to the Evita episode, I said, "There's a lot of things wrong with Lauren, but too many for one text message."
That is so funny.
What is wrong with Lauren?
Yeah, there's a
And then
lot.
when I listened back to it, the number of times we contradict ourselves in one episode is quite hilarious.
I think we just do that.
And then I just get cut off at the end when I'm about to come up with something very, very poignant and important. Anyway, so why do you like it? It does have death.
It does have death. Why do I like it? I think the music is spectacular.
Yeah.
Spectacular. I was obsessed for a while with all of the movies, like the 73, the 99, which came out in 2000, and then went to see the Arena tour.
Yeah. You see, as movies go, the 73 one doesn't catch me.
No,
or
and
catch my interest.
I get that, but I think because I love the music, I was willing to watch it.
Yeah. I adored the 1999 stroke 2001. It was fabulous.
Yeah.
Really good.
It was good. And then I went to see the Arena tour. Also, I loved the Andrew Lloyd Webber's Search for a Star, series 2 that kind of led to that Arena
a bit
tour.
Weird. Let's Search for Jesus.
I
Like
know.
it was a wee. It was a lot.
Yeah, I
Like
suppose it
you
could
can
be.
get by Maria or Nancy or Joseph, but when they were doing a Search for Jesus, I was like, okay, like this is a lot.
Yeah.
This is a lot.
Yeah, true. It maybe could have been taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's a really great story, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I did go to church. I would still go to church and things like that. So the Jesus story, and especially the crucifixion and the resurrection, which obviously doesn't happen in the musical, but we'll talk about that. It does have a huge meaning.
Mm-hmm.
But I just love this musical.
Yeah.
I think because it's that rock opera, and I do have a real love of rock.
You're a rock chick.
I wouldn't say I'm a rock chick, but I do really appreciate rock music.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? How do you feel about it?
In your musical tastes.
1,000%.
Or your music tastes.
Yeah.
As well as your
1,000%.
musical tastes.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I love it. I very much so. And I wouldn't be an overly rocky person.
Mm-hmm.
but I love this show, and I think you're right. I think it's probably up there with one of Andrew Lloyd Webber's best.
Yeah, I would say so.
To be fair, it and Evita that we looked at last week are probably my top two of his, to be honest with you, musically.
Yes, okay. Yeah, I'll let you away with.
And it's interesting though, isn't it? Because Evita was like operatic in style.
Yes.
But this is also operatic, but like a rock opera.
Yeah.
And that's what they classify it as, you know, Jesus Christ Superstar, the rock opera.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fabulous. And staging wise, you know, and creatively, that side of me, it's open to all interpretations as to how you stage it, how you set it, which is also quite exciting. Do you know what I mean? So no production that you ever go to see of it is ever the same as a previous. Do you know what I mean? Which is quite exciting.
Yeah, no, I like that.
You're not seeing the same carbon copy of it. However, we'll maybe get on to an interesting fact with regards to like carbon copy productions later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely, it hooked me, and I don't think I fully fell in love with it until I got the opportunity of being in it.
Oh, okay.
And being involved in the process of putting it together. It like brought a whole new love of it.
Yeah.
Almost the same feeling I had when I did Rent. You know,
okay.
I really loved Rent, and then I was in a production of Rent, and then it brought my love of Rent to a whole new level.
Yeah.
This was kind of the same. I really loved it, loved listening to the soundtrack, and then was in it. I was one of the 12 apostles. Thank you very much. Special person. And my love for it just grew and grew and grew. So yeah, shall we do some background on it?
Yeah.
Are you doing background, or did you do your research this week, Lauren?
I always do my research.
Of course you do, unless it's Evita, which gives you the heebie-jeebies, and then you go stuff that.
Okay, a sung through rock opera by Andrew Lloyd Webber and lyrics by Tim Rice. It is loosely based on the Gospels account of the Passion, Jesus in his final days.
I love that, loosely based. I'm sure we'll delve into that, will we?
So much of the plot does feature Judas, who is rather unhappy with Jesus, and you sort of feel that tension from the very beginning. It did start as a concept album in 1970s, and I think this is why some of these musicals that Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice did have lasted so long, because they started as something else and evolved into what we know of it today.
Yeah.
So this concept album in 1970 then went to Broadway in 71, which I found really unusual that it went to Broadway before West End, because America took it, like, really absorbed it way more than English audiences.
Yeah, do you think it was, so like that single Superstar was released late 1969 and then the album 1970, but there was a massive BBC ban on the album, which limited its impact in the UK, I think, but it took off when they released it in the USA, topping the Billboard charts in 1971. Do you know what I mean? So I wonder if the BBC radio ban on the album, because of its contents or because of what it was based upon, if that kind of scuppered the initial impact of it.
It could have
on UK listeners, or maybe UK listeners just aren't as open.
Yeah,
minded as US ones are, maybe, I don't know.
I think there was a mixture. There was a lot going on. So theatre at that time in Broadway was sort of moving forward and really based on vaudeville, while in the West End it was more on what was called as like the Angry Men. So it was more like real life, realistic plays, and that is what was sort of taken off. So I think the musical side just lended itself to America. Also Beatlemania in like the 60s and people being obsessed with like rock groups.
Yeah,
I think that's why America just took to it. That's my take on it anyway.
Do you think listeners can hear that noise in the background from the wind outside? It literally sounds like Lauren or Aaron are farting.
No, it
Sorry.
doesn't.
It's just the wind, folks. I promise you.
Or do they?
It's not really. Why would I
Disguise it.
bring it up if it was me? Like, feel like I'm back in school
I
again.
know.
Why would I say anything if I did it? Yeah. I think it's quite interesting that so obviously we're on a bit of a roll here, aren't we, with regards to the shows we've chosen.
Yeah,
so we had
a section of Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah, and Tim Rice. So last week, we talked about Tim Rice and Andrew Lloyd Webber and their involvement in Evita. We kind of went out of order in a way because actually this came first, and I think that initial connection between the two of them is quite interesting. So on the 21st of April 1965, a 20-year-old pop-loving trainee solicitor, Tim Rice, wrote to the bright and ambitious 17-year-old Andrew Lloyd Webber.
He was an Oxford dropout.
Yeah, a music student dropout, offering his services as a with-it writer of lyrics.
I know.
Go Tim Rice, like.
I know. I think he did also try his hand at a being like a pop star too.
Yeah. Who, Tim Rice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then was like, I think I'm actually better at being just a lyricist.
Yeah. So began the famous collaboration then, that 6 years later it would lead to them staging Jesus Christ Superstar and lasting fame for them both. Yeah, it's quite cool, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. I think I really would like to study their relationship more. That sounds weird. But I don't actually know an awful lot about how they got together.
Yeah.
And who was the driving force in all these different musicals. So I think I would like to actually go and maybe do.
I always was of the opinion that it was Andrew Lloyd Webber, but over the last, certainly last week with Evita and this week, I kind of feel like Tim Rice had more of a driving force than I first kind of thought.
Yeah, and I think in a future episode we'll be able to maybe explain why Andrew Lloyd Webber had more publicity around him and his musicals.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. As you say, the storyline follows the gospel version of the final days of Jesus, but Rice told the story more from the point of view of Judas Iscariot. Not least from that dramatic opening, Heaven on Their Minds, where Judas wrestles with his doubts about Jesus as the divine saviour. Also, Rice placed a particular emphasis on Mary Magdalene's relationship with Jesus in I Don't Know How to Love Him, and played with those misgivings Jesus himself had over his role as the Messiah in Gethsemane.
Yep.
And I thought, okay, interesting, that Tim Rice drove those narratives.
Yeah. So really interesting that you said those two things, because I've got some fun facts about that. I need to learn how to speak into a mic better. Sorry, everybody's shouting at me here. So just bear with me.
I just can't hear you.
Just bear with me 1 wee second while
Can't
I fix
hear you
this.
in the ears.
So, it was actually a Bob Dylan lyric, which did inspire the entire musical to be taken from Judas Iscariot's point of view.
Oh, okay.
So, Bob Dylan sings a line, "Did Judas Iscariot have God at his side?" in the 1964 song "With God on Our Side."
Oh.
So that then inspired Rice to think of it from Judas Iscariot, and that is, we hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Throughout the musical. And then I Don't Know How to Love Him, which is sung by Mary. It was actually a reworked song from the duo who wrote a song in 1967 called "I Love the Kansas Morning," and then they changed it into "I Don't Know How to Love Him."
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah.
Both those facts I had no idea.
So there you go.
That's very cool. I think another person that's quite important that we haven't mentioned yet is Robert Stigwood.
Yes.
Promoter and producer. So he was kind of watching this phenomenon of the concept album like taking off in America, and he was the one that saw the potential as Superstar being, you know, a show. So he bought the performing rights and planned its Broadway opening.
Yeah.
He also then kind of was pivotal in the, you know, the lasting legs that Jesus Christ Superstars had. He saw the potential for the licensing of this show.
Yeah.
A show based on a universally recognized story that could be staged in many countries. So it was because of him, for the first time, the original production was replicated and licensed worldwide.
Which was so unique at that time.
100%, you know, a seismic moment in musical theatre.
Wow.
History. I know.
Wow.
Oh, here. I might be getting a bonus.
Yeah, I think so. You literally made
Aaron
him.
just like looked up and went, okay.
You used a big word.
Which is the clap, the C. Thank you. I'll take it.
Okay, let it go.
What type of moment was it?
Seismic.
Oh.
He's dumbfounded. He doesn't even know what to say. Don't try and plan a witty comeback. No.
Yes, so because of that Superstar-ness, I just want to go into that. You reminded me, everybody knows that my brain works in loads of different ways.
Love
Originally, the song Superstar was Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. What is it about? I think that's it. But as he was writing it, Rice was writing it, he seen an image of Tom Jones, which just said #1 Superstar with no name attached to it. And he then thought, oh my goodness, what about idols? And that's a lot of what this show is about like putting somebody up on a pedestal. And it was from that image, and then he changed it to Jesus Christ Superstar.
Wow.
I know. But then
Tom Jones. Who would have thought Tom Jones had a part to play?
Tom Jones, eh?
Yeah. Search bomb.
But then that leads on to the fact that this show then was licensed and obviously produced so much money over the years and based on a person which shouldn't have, you know, created like idols or false idols or anything like that. It's just so strange that all happened.
Like Stig Wood is incredible, clearly, at his job, because then he continued to explore the show's possibilities when he bought the show to screens with the 1973 film, grossing $24 million in the US alone.
I know. Now, Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice were sort of kept away from the 73
Interesting
film, and I think after I learned that fact, whenever you look back at some of the or you can watch the film or watch some of the clips from the 1973 film, the arrangement of some of the music doesn't really carry over.
Yeah.
And it's not as powerful as maybe the 2001 would be, or the arena tour, or if you see it live.
Yeah.
There are some changes which maybe if they had been involved would have been better. Yeah. Or maybe wouldn't have happened. So it's just interesting that
it's foolish, isn't it? I think it's very foolish when you start looking at film adaptations and you don't include the people who were there originally. Yeah. It makes no sense to me, but.
And we will talk about this more come November, whenever we are watching a part 1 of a musical that has been turned into a movie. I know how you feel about pro shots, but for me, pro shots are the way to film musicals. I don't have a love for musicals being turned into films, because they're on the stage is how we need to see them.
I do live in fear for the Wicked movie. So much of me wants it to be spectacular, but I am concerned, quietly concerned. Yeah. But we'll see.
We'll still be there. We'll still be there.
Hopefully we're still here come November. Tomo Horgan was hired to direct and bring the same success of Superstar that he had brought to 1986 production of Hair.
Mm-hmm.
O'Horgan's spectacular and overblown production concept included flying angels, laser beams, dancing dwarfs, and a crucifixion set against a golden triangle, all at a cost of $700,000. And after all of that, Andrew Lloyd Webber hated it and has since referred to the original New York staging as a vulgar travesty.
A vulgar
Isn't that-
travesty.
He's
Oh my
one
goodness.
with words, like.
He is.
And the proof's in the pudding, because the success of the simpler staging of the original London production then followed that.
Mm-hmm.
So they stripped it all away and it was more successsul when...
Because the music does the work.
Yeah.
You don't need...
The music and the story is all you need for this show. Like,
And you need some really good performers.
oh God, yeah, actually, if you don't have the voices, you're screwed. Like, you're really screwed.
Yeah. But yeah, it should be basic enough that you don't need flashiness in order to tell the story.
Yeah.
In any sense.
It did open to mixed reviews,
Mm-hmm.
but advances had already bought in more than $1 million. It did, however, attract a lot of controversy and a lot of demonstrations.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like, some controversy from the musical because of the no resurrection. No, it is
Yeah.
that I feel is open to interpretation, because in a lot of productions that I've seen or the films, there's definitely a moment where Jesus disappears from the cross, and it's up to you then to see if he comes back or not. You know,
Clever director can certainly nod
yes,
to the possibility of a resurrection without, obviously with licensing, you have to be really careful because you can't change.
Hey guys, I'm here.
Yeah, you can't. You know, you can't change the musical plot the way it's been written and licensed, but a clever director can certainly nod to there's more to this story than it ending with the crucifixion.
And I think this is the part that blows my mind about another musical. So there have been a lot of demonstrations, as you say, a lot of protests outside anytime that it's performed in our big theatre, Belfast Grand Opera House. You know, there's a lot of church groups find it very offensive and will hold protests outside. But yet, whenever, anytime Book of Mormon is on, you always have, like, Mormons saying, if you liked what you sing, please give us a shout. You know,
they see it as a recruitment drive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good for them.
And I know that some Christian leaders did sort of say about the musical is if it encourages you to pick up the Bible and learn for yourself what happened, then that can only be a good thing, and we need to focus on that rather than maybe focus on what they don't do, maybe what the show could be doing. So, and
certainly when we did it in Belfast, we did have those demonstrations. And I love them, but our director went out and spoke to them and said, you know, what is your issue? Like, why are you protesting or demonstrating? Are you coming in to see the production? Have you come to see it? And his argument was, but you're not coming to see how we're depicting any of this. So how can you stand out here and protest about it?
Shut it down whenever you haven't seen it.
You know, feel free to come in and see it. They would have struggled because it was a sellout production, and I thought, good for you. Like, good for you. Yeah. I get how they might feel attacked, particularly for the sympathetic portrayal of Judas.
But again, I think that just depends on interpretation and how you choose to sympathize towards a character. So
yeah, these are the global excuses for these protests. That's what's people, you know, they've said. And also that less than spiritual relationship between Mary Magdalene and Jesus in the show. Again, as you say, depending on how it's played. Many Christians demonstrated outside the theatres, whilst Jewish groups also were unhappy with what they saw. as anti-Semitic portrayal of some of the Jewish characters,
Yeah.
such as the villainous depiction of the priests Caiaphas and Annas.
Yes.
And I understand that a wee bit more.
Me too. I would get
Maybe
that.
than the Christian demonstrations. Do you know what I mean? Some of the picketers' signs included "This play is blasphemous," "Burn Andrew Lloyd Webber."
Oh.
Now, in my opinion, if you're a Christian and you're putting that on a placard, you need to have a good out talking to yourself
Yeah.
before you come and demonstrate outside a show.
Did the big man not say himself, "Forgive them, for they know not what they're doing," or something?
Exactly.
Round of
You know.
applause. Absolutely.
Exactly. So by the 80s, Jesus Christ Superstar had grossed more than $237 million.
Yeah.
That is a
Cha-ching.
lot. It was the longest running until it was overtaken by some Jellicle Cats.
Yes, indeed.
Mhm.
So the Broadway production closed after only 711 performances. Then opening on the 9th of August 1972 at the Palace Theatre in London, it ran for 8 years and 3,358 performances. The London production grossing about £8 million.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it has since played in more than 40 countries, to date grossing over 190 million US dollars. The show is constantly revived on tour somewhere in the world.
Yeah. And I love it. And I think it should be. I think people should
100%.
always be able to have some form of access to Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah.
Just to briefly go back to the 1973 film.
Mhm.
So Ted Neely stars as Jesus in that.
No, he's good.
He is fantastic.
Yeah.
And there is a what do you call that? There is a film on YouTube.
A
No,
documentary.
there is a documentary. by
Have we got through 2 episodes where there hasn't been a documentary
Yeah, so
mentioned?
There is a documentary by Staged Right on YouTube, but that's not what I was going to say. There is an anniversary video of Ted Neely from last year when it was the 50th anniversary of
Okay.
the film, and he is singing Gethsemane,
Oh,
and he's just as good as he was in the 70s, and it is
isn't that incredible?
quite like hair standing up, quite like wow.
I'll have to listen to
Yeah,
that.
do
Yeah.
search for it. But did you know in the 1973 film there were 3 people in it who we spoke about in a couple of previous episodes? So Ms. Lee, Mr. Lapone, and Mr. Walsh from Chorus Line.
Ah.
Yeah, so they were some dancers, and they ended up being in the original Chorus Line.
That's class.
Yeah, so I
Very
just thought
good.
that was pretty cool.
Now, what amazes me about the Jesus Christ Superstar story,
Oh, and sorry, there's also a man called Paul Thomas, and if you want to look up what he's famous for, it would be very interesting.
what is he famous for?
Maybe some word films.
What? And he was in Jesus Christ Superstar?
Yes, it's a little bit controversial.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to move on really quickly. We've heard of the success.
Don't do it in your work laptop.
No.
I'm going to have to delete my browsing history here.
Oh, dear. We've just talked about the success, but what amazes me is that it has been nominated for many Tony and Olivier Awards for original and revival productions, and it is still, to this day, to walk away empty-handed every single time.
I don't get it.
I don't understand either. I really don't.
Do you think it's a fear thing? Do you think people think, oh, well, if we're awarded this, then we're going to get a lot of backlash from the churches?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
It just blows my mind. Like, really blows my mind. I can't quite understand.
Yeah. What we should also mention that is if Jesus Christ, which we've mentioned in our Rocky Horror episode,
Okay.
that if Jesus Christ Superstar didn't happen, we wouldn't have Rocky Horror. Remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because it was the
Yeah.
inspiration to write that, because he was meant to play. Remember?
No. that was last year.
He was meant to play Herod, but he was
Okay.
playing it more. This is
Oh, that's right.
Richard O'Brien.
Yes,
So he
Richard-
was playing it more with an Elvis
Yes,
impersonation,
that's
which wasn't
right.
quite what they were going
And
for.
he walked away
So
from
he walked away and
Jesus
then
Christ
wrote-
Superstar. That's right.
wrote
I
Rocky
forgot
Horror.
about that.
So just wanted to bring that all back.
Even more reasons for why we love Jesus Christ Superstar, because
know.
that brought us Rocky Horror as well.
Yeah.
You couldn't get two, apart from the rock aspect, you couldn't get two more different shows.
I know.
Anyway, shall we move on to our musical lyrical lingo's then?
Yes, please. Do you want to start?
Yeah, well, we started the episode by, well, apart from our, like, wee argument for the first, like, 2 seconds, we did start to having a wee sing-song. What's the buzz? Tell me what's up, banana, what's the buzz?
And I suppose we did do something that was one of my musical lyrical lingo's in that.
What was that?
So in What's the Buzz,
Yep.
he says, "While you prattle through your supper,"
Mm-hmm.
and prattle means to talk at length in a foolish or unconscious, I can't say the word, unconsequential. It's anyway to talk at talk at length in a foolish way.
Irony.
Yes, I'm so glad it's you this week and not me, because I really made an absolute show of myself. I kind of had What's the Buzz also, but just to understand that it was like What's the Buzz was a phrase for what's the excitement all about, like what's going on. I thought that was kind of a nice way of going. Saying that? No,
Yeah.
you're looking at me stupidly.
No, I'm not. I just was like,
It's
oh
okay.
yeah, that's pretty obvious. Like, what's the buzz? Like, what's the crack?
But it gained a place in everyday lingo.
Oh, really?
What's the buzz? No? Do you not? We never said what's the buzz before.
No, because I would say, what's the crack?
Yeah, but I suppose that's a Northern Ireland thing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so maybe.
Maybe people around the world go, "What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening." No,
Okay.
maybe not.
Yeah, okay.
Mary, ooh, Mary, that is good. While you prattle through your supper.
Yeah.
Love it.
You're doing good with this microphone.
Thank you. It does bring out the best vocal tones in
It
me,
does,
doesn't
it
it?
does.
Yeah. It seems there's also a line in What's the Buzz? It seems a strange thing, mystifying, that a man like you could waste his time on women of her kind.
Yes.
Now, it's the line Judas sings referencing Mary. In some versions, that line is actually, rather than waste his time on women of her kind, they change that to on such a concubine,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the version. And I thought that was quite an interesting lyrical change.
Yeah.
Do you know what that's all about?
Well, yeah, because also it says it's not that I object to her profession.
Yes.
So whenever it says profession, it is referring to the oldest profession in the world.
Is it actually?
Yeah, so so it's known as the oldest profession in the world, which is prostitution.
Yeah.
But that actually came from 1888 when Rudyard Kipling
Mhm.
began a story with that sentence. So that's where it's the oldest
Oh.
profession in the world. But that portrayal of Mary as a prostitute
A repentant prostitute, yeah.
actually began in 591 as Pope Gregory I conflated Mary and Bethany, the unnamed sinful woman who anointed Jesus' feet. So he said during an Easter sermon, which then resulted in widespread belief that she was promiscuous.
Yeah.
But then it was in 1969, I think, whenever Pope Paul VI, maybe, he removed that idea, but many still sort of see her as a
Okay.
prostitute.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it's referring to, that she was, but
Yeah.
she wasn't.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And I think stagings can get that very wrong sometimes.
Yeah, and I think that's like an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And there's no need for it.
No.
Because, a lot of people see her just as another disciple. So
And like a protection, it's almost like she's trying, the way I saw her was
Yeah.
like a protection from, she's protecting Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
From others, do you know what I mean? But because she was a female, it kind of comes across different from the other apostles. Funny you mentioned you mentioned ointment there, didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
In Everything's All Right Now,
Uh-huh.
she sings, and it's cool and the ointment's sweet for the fire in your head and feet.
Yeah.
Myrrh, frankincense, and or other ingredients have that powerful soothing effect. Among others, lowering blood pressure.
Yeah, so she does say myrrh for your hot head.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of my musical lyrical lingos too. So then I looked into myrrh because obviously, as you said, like myrrh, frankincense was brought to the birth of Jesus.
Yeah, that's the only reason I knew what myrrh was.
Okay.
The nativity.
So, but myrrh is a yellow fragrant sap-like resin which comes from the bark of a comiford tree. I think that's how you say it. Which actually produces a chemical that reduces pain and kills bacteria. But this is where I'm going to get on my high horse or my...
Well, hold on, because I might be coming right back at you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You say what you're going to say.
What I was going to say, there's no way that these wise men were bringing that for the baby. They were bringing it for the mother who had just given birth.
Okay.
So
yeah,
why are we giving presents to the baby? So this is why one of my businesses is also Stork Bundles, which brings presents to babies and parents. But
Do
yeah,
you
there's
put myrrh into your packages?
no, we don't.
There
have
you
one of
go.
those
Now
trees.
you know.
But we do have stuff for mum's recovery.
Yeah.
But I do think that myrrh was for Mary. But
course
chemicals
it
which
was.
would just pain and kill bacteria,
Yeah.
that's not for the baby.
No.
But
it
it's
was
okay in
definitely
Jesus
for
Christ
Mary,
Superstar.
wasn't it? No. Interestingly, I would because I'm getting a wee bit old now. I would suffer from a bit of back pain every so often. Don't worry, I've got it under control at the moment. So Bert's safe in the bag there. I'll be fine.
Okay.
Those negotiations are still ongoing. I'll sign on the dotted line when the money's right, just saying. But I actually got myrrh, like
Did you?
Essential oils, and put them into the bath. And I do think they really helped, and it also made the bath smell amazing.
Did it?
Yeah. So I thought before you went into your rant about it's for the mother, not the baby, I thought you were going to say how could it reduce pain?
No. I'm
and I
all
was about
for
to go,
herbal medicine.
It definitely, it was really good.
Wow.
Yeah, so there you go. Good old myrrh.
Well, there just shows you that Mary knew what to do with it, and she was putting it on his head for the pain and his hot head. He maybe had a fever.
Yeah, someone who wasn't happy though was Judas. In the same number, Everything's All Right Now, he sings, "Woman, your fine ointment, brand new, inexpensive, could have been saved for the poor. We could have raised maybe 300 silver pieces or more." Thank you. I'm available, UK tour, if you want me. Just saying.
Ooh, that was good.
yeah.
It was the wee shoulders going on all.
Oh, you have to get into it. How was the mic control that all right, Aaron? Great. I think I'm impressing Aaron tonight. Actually, that lyric is a quote from John 12,
Oh, okay.
verse 5, which says, "Why wasn't this perfume sold for 300 silver coins and the money given to the poor?" Well done, Mr. Tim Rice.
Very good.
10 times the price Judas got for betraying Jesus, which was said to be the price of a slave in those days. So historically, this illustrates just how cheap human life was.
Yeah.
That 10 slaves for the price of a bottle of high-ended perfume. Mad, right?
Yeah, that's a bit grim.
Yeah, well, it's a bit grim. I thought that too. Shall we move on to Hosanna then?
Well, yeah. Well, I have Damn for All Time. So do you want to do
what comes?
Hosanna?
What comes
Damn for All Times first,
next?
actually?
You go.
Yeah.
You go next. I do like doing them in order. I think it helps me and the listeners, hopefully.
So Damn
Just
for All
tells me.
Time is sung by Judas, and this was the first time that I'd heard about blood money.
Yeah.
So it goes, "I don't want your blood money." Yeah, so blood money is a payment or compensation that has been obtained at the cost of another's life.
Mm.
So I always thought, no, the first time I heard blood money was definitely through Jesus Christ Superstar, and I didn't realise that life always had to be involved in it. I thought that it was just like selling somebody out,
Like
or
dirty money.
like dirty money.
Yeah.
But yes, but Blood Money
Blood.
is
Okay.
definitely the life. I really like that song,
It's fantastic.
but then I really like Judas.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think this is a thing, like, it's really hard to pick, like, favourite songs from this musical because they are all so good.
They're fantastic.
You know, like, Judas has brilliant songs.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus has brilliant songs. And even Mary, although she doesn't have as many songs, like, her songs are good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Hosanna from Hebrew, meaning please save, rescue us. But however, the rest of that number is gibberish.
Yeah. Hosanna,
Hey, Zana, 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 Hosanna, hey, Zana, Hosanna, you're off tune.
I was trying to go down.
I know, we did try a harmony there, it just didn't work.
No.
Sorry guys, we'll try better, harder next time. Pilate, we haven't talked about Pilate yet.
No.
He has great wee sing songs in this too.
He does, and I think if you've got a really good pilot, then again that can be a really enticing character, and you're kind of going, oh, okay, that's a different way to look at that story.
Yeah, exactly. So in the song Pilate and Jesus, where Jesus is brought before Pilate, he says, you look so small, not like a king at all. There is no evidence of disparity in size between Pilate and Jesus. However, from the prefect's elevated seats, everybody probably looks small.
Yeah. There you go.
Sitting on a throne, like looking down on someone, they are going to look small, aren't they?
Yeah, true. Because that's where that expression looking down on somebody comes from.
God, you're good. That's why I do this podcast with you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that is.
What about you?
I had Last Supper. Have you got anything further?
Oh, no.
Okay. So it says, like a common criminal, a wounded animal, a jaded mandarin.
Jaded mandarin! A jaded mandarin! A jaded mandarin!
Also,
Sorry, it was like Gollum had just arrived towards the end of that.
That's...
Mic work impeccable. Gollum impression fantastic.
Gollum.
That's so rude.
Do it again.
But that's how he sings it, because he's a jaded mandarin! A jaded mandarin!
First of all, let's appreciate
Jaded.
let's appreciate that line, jaded mandarin. Like, I just think there's something musically wonderful about that.
What does it mean?
But then we know from last week,
Yes.
jade is like a worn out prostitute.
Yeah.
But a jaded mandarin is a worn out wise man, or somebody who is no longer powerful, a has-been.
Ah, very good. I have to say, I think maybe I'm repeating myself now, but my admiration for Tim Rice has definitely gone up over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think but I think doing this podcast has made
Mhm.
me certainly appreciate lyricists
Yeah, of course.
a lot more.
Yeah.
And that if they're a good lyricist, every single word matters.
Yeah,
And there's a reason for it.
that is
Yeah.
very true. Herod's song.
Uh-huh.
He sings, so you are the Christ, you're the great Jesus Christ. Prove to me that you're divine, change this water into wine. In pretty much every production, Herod is always played as a flamboyant, over-the-top, gay and debauched character. Why? Do we know why that? Like, literally, if you think about all of the two films that we've passed comment about, and any production you've seen every single time without fail.
But like, I thought the way Rick played it in the 2000, Rick Mayo?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I just thought that he was very smug. And Chris, I've forgotten his name, the radio one. DJ.
Flamboyant though.
He's a king, not a
Not a
queen.
queen.
Did you remember that?
Yeah. He is a king though, that's what I said.
Okay. Do you think it was a wee bit too over? I don't ever see
I
it.
just don't really get it. I don't know why every like any production I've ever seen. It was just a side question, but that within that song, they throw out multiple stories from the Bible. So they talk about walk across my swimming pool, which is a nod to Jesus walking across water. Feed my household with this bread. You could do it on your head. It's talking about the loaves and the fishes.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, I thought you were laughing.
I know,
there.
so did I. Thought you were like, ha ha ha
Like,
ha.
what's so funny about
I
the
know.
loaves and fishes? That was
Sorry, just a
really
wee cough.
cool what Jesus was able to do.
40
Feeding
loaves.
Yeah. So I thought that was quite cool that Tim Rice was able to throw in like multiple other stories in there.
Yeah, well, also turn this water into wine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was another one, yeah.
Okay, that was good.
Superstar?
I had just Gethsemane that taught me how to say Gethsemane.
Gethsemane?
And I do it really well, don't I? I'm so proud of myself. Gethsemane.
Yep. Gethsemane.
I have to
The
really
Garden
think about
of Gethsemane.
Gethsemane. He says, show me a little of your omnipresent brain.
Yep.
And omnipresent means widespread.
Everywhere.
Yeah. I love that song.
So do I. We'll maybe get onto
That's
that.
definitely in my top 10 songs of all time.
Agreed.
Like across all genres.
Oh wow, okay, cool.
That is it.
Nice.
Yep.
Very good. In Superstar, they sing Israel in 4 BC had no mass communication. Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I had that too.
Some have said
Uh-huh.
that this is a mistake or strong artistic license.
Oh.
So, as Jesus is commonly held to have been born at the beginning of AD 1,
Mm-hmm.
there is a ongoing debate about the precise year of Jesus' birth. The New Testament says that he was born while Herod the Great was alive. And if this is true, that would mean that Jesus must have been born in or before 4 BC,
Oh, okay.
in the year Herod died.
Oh.
I'm going to be quite honest with you. Biblically,
Yeah.
my head's not there. Like, I'm not quite getting
You can.
it.
Okay.
But there is ongoing debates out there as to that lyric, but I don't know enough about it to argue it, so please don't push
That's
me on
okay.
it.
That's my misheard lyric. Of
Oh, amazing. I love a misheard lyric.
I've always sang this since 1987, whenever I was born. I've sang this as Israel in Bathsimi.
Bathsimi?
Israel in Bathsimi had no mass communication. I thought Bathsimi was in Israel. I thought it was a town.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I thought when we did it, I struggled with the words of Hosanna, to be fair, so it was always Hosanna, 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 won't you die for me?
Yeah.
Love a misheard lyric.
No, so I have sung that forever. And
What was it again for BC?
Israel in Bathsimi.
Israel in Bathsimi. And no mass communication.
And whenever you watch, well, Tim Minchin, did I say it right? In particular, he actually even holds 4 up. I still didn't get it. I thought it was just a cool wee.
So even as
No,
early,
I mean, like, I only-
recently as that, you're
I only
still...
discovered it.
Oh, whilst doing your research?
While doing my research.
Brilliant.
I've been singing Israel in Bathsimi.
Listen, it still sounds good, so I'd go with it.
I mean,
And to be honest, like, poor Judas, like, so wordy. His, Damn for All Time, Blood Money, like, all of his songs are very wordy, and fast. Like, diction is very important for that character.
extremely
Tim Minchin did that fantastically, though.
unbelievable. I could watch that on repeat.
I wasn't a fan of so this is the arena tour we're talking about. I wasn't a fan
2012.
of it, but I thought
No,
not for me. But I thought he was amazing, like the best Judas I had seen.
Yeah.
I thought he was absolutely stunning.
No, I loved it. I went to see the arena tour.
Oh,
whenever
did you
came
see it
into
live?
Belfast,
Very
yeah.
good. I've just seen the pro shot they did of it.
Okay. No, I seen that and it was brilliant.
Okay.
And Tim Minchin was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I do remember that he didn't see anybody at the end, like didn't do stage door or anything like that, and it just took so much out of him, like every night.
I'm sure, yeah.
But he was so good. I think I actually had that image of him dying in my head for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Because I felt like I was right there with him.
Yeah. He played it so brilliantly, didn't he?
Yeah. And I've watched that.
That you had those strong feelings towards him.
Yeah.
At times you wanted to throttle him, and then at times you felt sorry for him.
Yeah. Yeah,
that,
I feel that there is that.
For this show, like that's what as the character, that's what you want, don't you?
Well, that's my standing ovation. Is him.
Was him.
Yeah.
Very good. My standing ovation, strangely, is a track that nobody sings on.
Is it John? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
John
I actually think this is up there with, you said about Gethsemane being one of your all-time, like, across anything. I think this is one of my favourite pieces of music. Ever, yeah. It's John 19, 41. And it's just instrumental, and it's just beautiful to the point that I would kind of like well up when I listen to it. If I'm in the right mood and I put it on, like, I will get teary. There's just something subtly beautiful about it. It's just beautiful, and to hear it live by a live band or live orchestra is just like, wow. I am also a fan of Gethsemane. I think you're right. It's certainly in my top 10 musical theatre songs. But I love Judas's songs in this show.
Yeah.
I think he has the best, like Heaven on Their Minds, Damn for All Time, Blood Money. That guitar riff, dong, 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 dong. Wow.
Yeah. And I suppose that's something that we haven't mentioned. Not only do you need to have wonderful performers, you need to have an amazing band connected to any production of this, because the music is so wonderful. But the opening, that overture, is just but superstar. At the end, obviously, John 19:41 is in the Bible. That's the crucifixion.
Yeah.
When he's laid to rest. So that has to create some sort of emotion.
Yeah.
And that, as you said, that nobody sings it, and they're able to do that.
It's a juggernaut of a show, isn't it, though? Because as soon as it starts, it's go, 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 right to the end, apart from maybe Mary Magdalene's, songs. But apart from that, it's like go, 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 go. Yeah. It's endless in its approach.
Yeah, you should, if you're watching a really good production, you should feel exhausted after.
Yeah.
I think.
And they must be exhausted. Must be exhausted. Anyone who plays in it, like.
Yeah. But it's on tour at the moment, isn't
it? It is. It's a UK tour, which I would love to see, but it's not coming.
No, it's not.
To the UK. It was... So
it's on a UK tour, but it's not coming to Ireland.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry. It's on a UK tour, but it's not coming to Dublin. Yeah. Or is it coming to Dublin? It might be coming to Dublin. Or I missed it maybe in Dublin. I don't know. For whatever reason, it's certainly not coming to Belfast. Okay. And I don't think I'm going to get to see it. And I'm devastated because the director is Timothy Shedder, and the choreographer is Drew McConey, who is up there with my top 3 choreographers.
Okay.
Young, hip, interesting, different. This UK tour started its life in Regent Park Open Air.
That's right.
One season, then did a West End transfer, and now it's out on UK tour.
And I think it was just nominated for some Olivier's.
good because it looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame I'm not going to see it. Because, do you know what? It's been a long time since I've seen a production of Jesus Christ Superstar. And the last one I saw was the 2015 UK tour. And I was left wanting, sadly. And it was a bit of a sad story because Glenn Carter, who was the Jesus in the 1999 film of it, and he was amazing, sensational. He was on the 2015 UK tour, still playing Jesus.
Oh.
And unlike, who was it you said could still sing it perfectly?
Tim Neely.
Unlike Tim Neely.
Ted Neely, sorry.
Ted Neely. Maybe it was just the stresses
Okay.
of a UK tour, but it just wasn't there anymore. And it was really, because I was like, Glenn Carter, oh my God, he's about to sing Gethsemane, like so exciting, and it just maybe had an off night, who knows, but I was like, oh, that's so sad.
Oh, that is sad. That is sad.
Another part that I really love is the this Jesus Must Die, those low voices.
Oh yeah, that can be a bit freaky sometimes.
Scary.
I find that a bit.
I was about to say, how do you cope with that and your
I sometimes
delicate
skip
ways?
that bit.
Okay.
If I'm
just
listening to
checking.
the album, I would skip that bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't skip it, but I would not watch it. I would maybe like look off into the far distance.
I close my eyes and put my earphones in.
And then you were, as you've mentioned, you were in a production.
Yeah,
of it.
I
So
played
when was
one
that?
of the 12 Apostles. Oh, don't ask me when it was.
I'm going to tell you when it was.
Do you remember? How do you remember and I don't?
It was 2011.
Yeah.
And it must have been October.
Yes, that sounds about right.
Yeah, because my husband wouldn't allow me to go see you.
Aaron?
Because I was
The other one.
39 weeks pregnant.
Oh, fair enough.
And I was like, what is Jesus Christ Superstar? And they said that, and he was like, no.
It was amazing.
And I heard that it was amazing and that everybody was wonderful in it, but my husband was very mean.
Fair enough.
I did say come back and speak to me if he's Bert and Mary Poppins though, so
See?
that's the exception to the rule. There's always an exception.
Oh, okay.
It was brilliant. As I said at the beginning, like I had a love for Jesus Christ Superstar, but then when you are involved in that process of putting it together, it's one of those special shows. Do you know what I mean? The bond you have to have, especially your 12 disciples or apostles.
Yeah.
Like there is a bond there that you mentioned the Last Supper earlier, and I think I let out because I just remember the rehearsal process for that, and it was really special. Similarly to that scene in Godspell.
I was going to say it always reminds me of that, and especially because I have, in time of that scene in Godspell, I just think of the time your dad directed us in it, and we had a very special moment for that. So
yeah, it's funny, moments like that stay with you, don't they? However, to bring us all back down to earth, I always seem to end up at the arse of a donkey or a horse somehow. Like, seriously.
You're choosing, or somebody?
Not my choosing, Lauren. Not my choosing.
No.
Because I remember Oklahoma. The same bloody director too, so a lot to answer for. At the end of Oklahoma, when I was in Oklahoma, I ended up standing in the finale at the rear end of the horse that brought the furry with the fringe on top on stage, right? And I was like, flip's sake, this stinks. Absolutely stinks. And then it starts shutting in front of you and you're like, seriously, this is showbiz. What was I behind in Hosanna?
The donkey.
A stinking donkey. We're walking around the stage in we do a tour of a circle round, following the donkey with her palm leaves, and I'm like, seriously, here I am again at the back end of an ass. Like, I don't know what I've done in a previous life to deserve such treatment, but anyway. Honestly, true fact. Like, I've no idea. So I don't really perform anymore, but I certainly avoid any shows that might require
It's in your
an
contract.
animal of some sort.
Is there an animal? And if so, I'm not going to be at the rear
I'm
end.
not interested. Pick up your own shit. Anyway. Yeah, so there we go.
Well, that was a fun episode.
It was great. It's nice to do a wee musical every so often that both of us really like.
I know. Yeah. I feel like it's been a while, hasn't it? No, it hasn't.
No, we were okay. Like, yeah. I think just last week is still ringing in my ears. The shock. Shocker.
We're going to continue and finish.
What is wrong with us, though?
I know, but I think anyway, we are going to do another Andrew Lloyd Webber next
Yeah,
week.
because I was thinking about this in the middle of the week. Like, we got through a whole first season and we did one Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, and that was Joseph, which was our first episode.
I know.
And then we didn't touch the man again. It was almost as if we had something against Andrew Lloyd Webber, probably the most successful or one of the most successful musical theatre composers, and we were like, totally shunning him.
But I also...
We're making up for it then, are we?
Well, yeah, but also it's nice. Whenever we were younger, Andrew Lloyd Webber was there in your face all the time. And I remember being told that if you're going to audition, don't do an Andrew Lloyd Webber song because then you'll stand out.
Yeah.
And being like, oh, that's actually quite hard. But it was really nice then to go and explore different musicals by different composers and learn about other people. So
I think you're right. I think even like personal tastes at one point, it like my listening just got so oversaturated with Andrew Lloyd Webber stuff that I didn't actually enjoy listening to it anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's funny returning to it. You know, you go, oh, he is fantastic at what he does. Do you know what I mean? And his work will go down in history.
Yeah.
For
all the right
very
reasons.
clear reasons. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, you're right. I think if you have too much of it, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So we're going to go for triple threat number 3 next week. One more Andrew Lloyd Webber, and then we'll maybe give him a wee rest for a while.
Definitely, you're going to give him a rest.
So,
for a while.
Listeners, see if you can guess which one we're going to do. Which one would you like us to do?
There was a little clue in this episode.
Was there?
Yeah.
Interesting. I must have missed that clue myself, but sure.
You did. You did.
You're subtle. It's
I
not
know.
like you.
I know. But yeah.
Normally
Don't
you're
forget.
as subtle as a brick through a window.
Don't forget to keep that was really rude. Anyway, don't forget to keep following us on our socials.
Yes.
Send us all of your feedback because we do love it and we appreciate it.
Even if it's rubbish.
Yeah.
Don't come for us, right?
Your suggestions, we do have a full catalogue that we're working our way through, but definitely any suggestions, send them our way and we'll see if we can squeeze them in.
It is quite nice because we've a list as long as your arm, but somebody's suggestion could excite us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And go, actually, let's do that.
Yeah,
next.
100%. And
Let
keep
us
buying
know
your merchandise.
what Andrew Lloyd Webber musical you think we should do. Not that we'll listen to you because we've already planned what we're doing next, but sure, it'd be interesting to see what you think. For the future.
Well, maybe pay attention to you.
Well, maybe listen to our listeners. Who knows? I'm only joking you. We really value you.
Yeah,
I still can't believe you're with us on this journey. It's actually hilarious that we're still going.
I know. And I think technically this is our 50th episode.
Oh my goodness, it is. How did we get to that without saying anything until the very end?
I know. 50 episodes. 50. 50! Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
That is so bizarre. Like, we didn't even start a year ago.
That's mad.
I know. Mental.
Should we get t-shirts saying 50 on the back?
No, because then people will think we're 50.
That's true. 40's bad enough. Yeah, very good. Keep buying the merchandise.
Yeah, yous are doing good. Yous are doing good. Do send us pictures, and there should be some new images, especially Timothy's. I like to play with my pen.
The more clangers we come off with during recording.
Quack, all of those. All of those.
It was a good quack.
It was very good. It was very good.
Well, until next week.
Bye.
Funny with animal noises there, actually.
What?
Quack.
Just said
animal
bye.
noises next week.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I know you got in with your bye just far too quick. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Bye.
You had to have a last word there.